What's up, world? This is Salim with Flip for Figs, and today we're taking a look at the entire Final Fantasy IX Bring Arts collection from Square Enix. I'll go through all the different 2-packs, the accessories they come with, and give you my overall impressions on them. And we're also going to talk about a very exciting announcement of a Play Arts Shin Zidane tribal. Let's get into it.
Flip for Figs.
When I flip, you flip, we flip.
Alrighty, folks, so before we jump in, I do want to talk about the brand new announcement of the Play Arts Shin Zidane Tribal. Shin actually means new or true in Japanese. I think that it's meant to signify a more premium Play Arts figure compared to their Play Arts Kai line. So looking at these pictures, he looks really good. It looks, straight out of a cutscene, and he does have a swappable head with that kind of like angry expression that you can see here. So you could see that he comes with a second tail. He comes with his 2 daggers, as well as that little gray accessory is to move the eyes, because another thing about Play Arts Shin is that they have movable eyes. Now you'll have movable eyes for Zidane, as well as all the other Play Arts Shin characters that they announced. So it'll be interesting to see where this line goes. I'll be getting that Zidane as soon as possible, because even if it's the only one from Final Fantasy IX, it'll go perfectly with the rest of my Final Fantasy hero collection, which I'll show you in another video. Alright, so the first set, Zidane and Garnet, the 2 lovebirds. It's a beautiful set. It's actually one of the most accessory heavy sets, as you'll see in a second. But yeah, the paintwork on them is beautiful. All the colors are screen accurate. Just every angle you look at it looks like it could be from a cutscene of the video game. Really capturing Tetsuya Nomura's art. I'm such a huge fan of his, and I love his character designs, especially the more funky characters. Garnet comes with interchangeable hair, so you could go for the long hair or the short hair. I personally like the long hair before she becomes Dagger, just because it's kind of her iconic look, in my opinion. Zidane comes with 3 weapons. You get 2 daggers, 2 mage mashers, and his ultima weapon. He also comes with 8 total hands, 4 that are closed to hold weapons and 4 open palm ones. And then with Garnet, you get her healing rod as well as her tiger racket weapon. And then she has 3 short hair heads and then 2 long hair heads. So you get a total of 6 heads with her, which is really impressive. And then you also get 5 sets of hands. All right, Vivi and Steiner. This is another really great 2-pack. I love these characters. They're such a fun dynamic duo. And for Vivi, he's a black mage, but I love this take on it. I love the character design, his blue cloak, his black face with the yellow eyes, striped pants, his hat. Just everything about his character design screams personality, even though it's pretty minimalistic. And yeah, I just can't get enough of Vivi as a character. I'm excited to get a resin statue of him hopefully soon. The hat looks really good. He looks very screen accurate and super cute. Nice having him in Bring Arts scale. And then with Steiner, even though he's kind of just a classic medieval knight character, I love his take on that. Everything is super exaggerated. I love the way the different armor plates stack up with each other, and the chainmail. And his feet designs with just kind of all the ornamentation and whatnot. And yeah, I think he looks exactly like his on-screen counterpart, down to the very last detail. So really nice figure. Get 3 different expressions for Steiner, including a really comical open mouth one that looks straight out of a cutscene. You also get another face for Vivi with his eyes like nearly closed. You get 2 staves for Vivi, as well as 2 fire fists, and then 6 other hands for him. And then with Steiner, you get 2 of his swords, or 3 swords, as well as a sheath for his swords, and then you get 4 hands. Alright, I think this is probably my favorite 2-pack. Freya was my favorite character in Final Fantasy IX. And then Beatrix, when they made the original Bandai figures, they never made her, so it's kind of nice finally getting her. I have them in the stands here. Really cool character design. Her hair is doing really awesome things. She's got her sheath there, and yeah, I love that she has kind of that eye patch thing. And then with Freya, like I said, favorite character. I just love everything about this look. I always loved red mages since the older Final Fantasy games. Red mage was my favorite party member because, again, I love the color red. And just this character design is so cool. I just love the way she looks from every angle. The fact that she's a rat is just so random, and I really love it. Because her character story is also pretty sad and dramatic, and the fact that she's a rat just makes it like it's in perfect Final Fantasy fashion. So yeah. All right, for Freya and Beatrix, you're gonna get Beatrix is Save the Queen's sword as well as another hilt for the sword, and then you get 4 sets of hands, and then for Freya you get her javelin, and then another spear. I don't know the name of it, and then you get 6 sets of hands. You get 2 face sculpts for each character, with eyes open and eyes closed. All right, Quina and Eiko. This is another fun set, especially since they're so colorful and they both come with their little homies. Quina comes with Froggy and Eiko comes with Mog. And I just love these character designs. I mean, Final Fantasy IX really went crazy with the character designs, and these Bring Arts figures really just bring them to life. Nice, different kind of texture in the clothing, you know. And his tongue looks great. He's really impossible to stand on his own. You kind of have to sit him on his butt like that or have him propped up against something. And then Eiko here, she is really cute, super tiny, also kind of hard to stand on her own without the flight pole. Her horn is broken off on this head sculpt because I had her kind of in mid-flight, and then it was, I guess, too top heavy, so it fell off of the base, and then I broke the horn off. But I have a couple extra head sculpts, which is nice about this Final Fantasy line is the extra head sculpts. But I love the purple hair and the contrast of the purple and the yellow and the big bow, and then she comes with Moogle, and you can never have enough Moogles, so yeah. All right, for Quina and Eiko, you're going to get Quina's fork, and then you also get Eiko's flute, and then you get hands for each of them. You get a ribbon for Eiko. You also get her Moogle. You get Quina's buddy Froggy, and then you get 3 different heads for Eiko. One closed eyes with a smile, and then one kind of determined look. Right, the final 2-pack, and probably my least favorite, is Amarant and Kuja. Amarant never interested in me much as a character. I always thought it was strange that he was on the cover art because, I mean, he was kind of just thrown in at the end. He didn't serve a huge purpose in the story. I mean, I know he had his little arc, but I don't know. I was never a huge fan of his character, and he's kind of weak. I mean, Zidane punked him like multiple times after he tried coming out like he was super bad, but his character design is interesting with the dreads and everything like that. And, I love red, so I like the hair. But, I thought it was fun that you can never see his face. But his claws are cool. I don't know. I never used him in the game unless I had to. And so, not my favorite character. Kuja is an amazing villain. And I love his form when he's like El Super Visto at the end. But with this look where he's kind of wearing a thong, I just I don't know, he looked really feminine to me. I thought he was that intimidating until he kind of turned into his trance form and he was red. But overall his hair is really nicely sculpted, and the outfit looks game accurate. Yeah, this was a 2-pack that it took me a while to kind of pull the trigger on, just because again, they're expensive and I had already gotten all the others, but I knew I had to have it eventually, and I'm glad I got it. I think I actually got the last one from Big Bad Toy Store before they sold out. So, all right, with Kuja and Amarant, you get kind of limited accessories, but you get Amarant's cat claws weapon as well as 3 extra hands, 2 that are kind of opened, and then 1 that's a complete open palm. And then with Kuja, you get just 5 different hands, and then you get 2 alternative face sculpts for Kuja. Alrighty, folks, so if you watched my Bring Arts Final Fantasy VII video, you know what can happen when Square Enix doesn't do right by their fans. Those figures, as much as I love them, they were really overpriced with very few accessories. This set, while still expensive, each 2-pack retailed for between $160 to $180. They came, as you saw, with a wealth of accessories, several swappable heads for each character, different weapons, different hands, literally everything you can ask for. And there were just these beautifully curated sets that really felt like a proper homage to Final Fantasy IX. So it just shows you that Square Enix was looking back and they were like, you know what, we got to give Final Fantasy IX some love. Because the only other figures we had, there were a couple of Play Arts, Zidane and Vivi, that came out several years ago that are hard to come by. And then we got the original Bandai 2-packs, but, those were great for the time, but they obviously don't hold up by these nowadays. But these figures, I mean, the detail work, the character designs have always been a favorite for me. It's no secret that my favorite Final Fantasy games are the one with the quirkiest casts. So, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy IX, and Final Fantasy X, they all have like the funkiest casts, and those tend to be my favorite Final Fantasies. I don't know, I just can't get into the games when they have dull cast members like Final Fantasy VIII. No offense to all you Final Fantasy VIII fans, but to me, going from the 7 cast to 8 was kind of like, meh. Same with Final Fantasy 16, very epic. I know it's Game of Thrones-esque, but aside from Torgal the Wolf, everyone's just a standard human character from like medieval times. And so I really just love, the funkier the better, Square Enix. I think they put their best art and their best character designs forward when they kind of go out of the box, and nothing says out of the box like this cast of characters. And to have them all here physically is just amazing. I am getting resin versions of all of my favorite characters from a custom studio, and then also I'm hoping that with that announcement of Play Arts Shin Zidane, we may get some others. If not, I'm happy to just have Play Arts Shin Zidane to go with the rest of my Play Arts Kai Final Fantasy heroes. So yeah, I think I'm several years late to making this video, because if you're seeing these for the first time and you want to get them, you're in for a rude awakening, because they're really expensive on the aftermarket. They're completely sold out on every website. And so I was fortunate enough to get all of these sets at retail, and even at retail it was $180 each. And when you kind of open them at first, you hold like Vivi or Eiko in your hand and you're like, man, this essentially is a $90 figure, right? Because it's half of a $180 set. And it's steep, don't get me wrong, it's expensive no matter which way you look around it, but when you look at the level of detail, the paintwork, the articulation, which has never been Bringart's strong suit or Square Enix's strong suit, but all of these characters can go into all the poses that you want. I just encourage you to use the display posts to do so, because trying to get them to stand on their own is very nerve-wracking, because all it takes is like the wrong breath or a little gust of wind to send them flying everywhere. But yeah, it would have been easy to recommend these at retail value. However, aftermarket, it's kind of hard. But if you're a diehard Final Fantasy fan like I am, and you love this cast, then I know that it'll be hard for you to not have them. So I do hope that you're able to find them if you want them and you don't have them already. If not, hopefully you can hold out hope that Square Enix will continue to release more Final Fantasy IX content. I know there's rumors of a remake of Final Fantasy IX, which would be amazing. And I'm sure if we got that, we would get, a whole line of merchandise for that. I just hope they maintain this kind of chibi art style look, because that's what I love most about the Final Fantasy IX cast. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little foray into Bring Arts, and I will continue to show you the rest of my Bring Arts collection. I do have some additional Final Fantasy figures from like Final Fantasy 11 as well as 14 and some of the summons. And then also I have Kingdom Hearts Bring Arts, so we'll go through those, and eventually my Play Arts Kai Final Fantasy figures as well. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time. And yeah, thanks for watching.
When I flip, you flip, we flip.